This is normally one of those type of stories that I would keep over on the second channel, but that sumbitch has been struck, and I'll be back on Monday over there, but the stuff is still coming up out there on Rumble, which, I don't know, maybe ultimately this is where this video is going to end up landing. It really doesn't matter all that much, because there's a bunch of things to really learn from this situation, okay, to reinforce something that I talk about all the goddamn time. Never go into business, never hire anybody, okay, never partner with anybody, don't do anything with a man who is terrible in, or rather deficient in, two areas. If they're bad with money, and then also if they're bad with women, because once again, Project Veritas is out here exposing and exploiting just absolute beta male simp fucking behavior, if we're gonna keep it a buck, okay? Pfizer director assaults James O'Keefe, Project Veritas' journalist, after being confronted over comments on mutating the COOF virus. What the fuck did this guy just say? Okay, now listen, this is just one drunk asshole having some liquid libations after work, apparently, okay, with some girl that he's trying to impress, okay? But we've seen this time and time again with Project Veritas, okay? CNN, how many different times, okay, did they have different directors or high-ranking officials come out, okay? They'll send a pretty little thing out there, and then a couple of drinks later, they're spilling all of the company's secrets, and now what? CNN primetime show can only, it can't even break 500,000 people, okay? Project Veritas breaking a story about ballot harvesting during 2020 in Texas, what was that, or something like that? Yeah, that was in Texas that Ken Paxton ended up indicting and getting an acquittal on. It had nothing to do with the general election or anything like that. I already know the fucking censors are gonna be all over this bitch right here, so better cross my teeth and dot my I's and not deviate all that much from the very safe and effective virus that's gonna come and kill us all, right? Whatever, bro. Alright, so on Thursday, Project Veritas released shocking footage from a high-level Pfizer employee. I don't really know about this, man. The way that this dude uses his effeminate hand movements, I don't know if this guy was high-ranking at anything except for being a judge at a drag contest. It's just a little fucking sus. Him, not the story. I'm sure that it's totally valid, mostly because it comes from Project Veritas and this isn't getting reported on by any other mainstream outlet, okay? So I believe that there's probably some validity to these claims, so anyways, became irate at James O'Keefe and other journalists after he was confronted over comments regarding the company mutating the COOF. What do you mean by that? Jordon Trishton Walker. Trishton? I guess that's just a nice way to mutate the word Tristan for motherfuckers with a speech impediment. Alright then. Who served as a director of worldwide R&D, strategic operations, and mRNA scientific planning at the pharmaceutical giant. I'm just wondering, it's like, okay, if this is the first time that he's meeting with somebody, and the first thing that he spills is that, oh yeah, I work for Pfizer, and like, I got this big long title attached to my name and all that shit, and we're mutating viruses in order to turn a profit in perpetuity. Wait, why is Chris Hansen coming out here and then just offering me a cookie and some orange juice? I don't know what the fuck is going on. But yes, also attempted to destroy an iPad containing undercover recordings of him made by Project Veritas and eventually called the cops. Like, oh my god, they were recording me after I was giving away all the trade secrets. Oh my god, I'm under an NDA. I can't be doing this. Like, well, why were you trying to flex in front of a bitch? Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? After secretly recording Walker on what he thought was a date, again, man, blue pill dudes who aren't good with women will sell you out at a moment's notice, okay? Normally, it's not such high-level accusations or revelations such as this. Oftentimes, it's snitching and it's like, you don't know how important I am. I've sewed together a bunch of different business deals, and let's just say that new hospital in town, it's coming from our construction company. A little birdie told me, and then when it falls through, because secret negotiations have been disclosed, and that was your stupid bitch-ass business partner that ended up divulging those secrets after a couple of fucking Jack and Coke with some six across the table? Bruh, you work for Pfizer, O'Keefe said, sitting down opposite Walker. My question for you is, why does Pfizer want to hide from the public the fact that they're mutating the COOF? Is this real life? Is this real life? Oh, wow. Walker replied, getting up from his seat. This is absurd. No, straight guy. No straight guy says that. He'd be like, what the fuck? You're on video. You're on candid camera. Smile. We got one over there, one over here. This is a multi-camera shoot, bro. Yes, you're on video holding up an iPad to show Walker's footage of himself, suggesting that Pfizer is exploring how the viruses keep mutating. All right. No, I would understand. It's like it's a big pharma company. They would have the R&D available, which apparently this guy claims at least to be in control of. But I would imagine, given the fact that there's Christmas decorations, I've seen the video. I've seen parts of the video, not when he starts spazzing out or anything like that. But there are holiday decorations in the background. You know, you've got the garland and the Christmas wreaths in the background. So obviously this happened a while ago, so they would have had the opportunity to go and check if old Trishton there was actually working for Pfizer at any point in time. I would imagine he's probably in a basement somewhere. But there's nothing inherently wrong with Pfizer figuring out, it's like, okay, why are there new subvariants or evolutions in this virus so quickly? Like, viruses over time do tend to evolve. It's just, why is this one doing so ever so quickly? Aha, well, don't worry, brother there's got a point of clarification for you, if of course you guys meet on Tinder or whatever. Walker then called the police. Oh, okay. As a restaurant worker pleaded with both of them and O'Keefe to stop. The restaurant worker requested that O'Keefe and his team leave. Yeah, to be fair, they got everything that they needed, so, you know, hey man, it's all good. While Walker insisted that O'Keefe and his team remain inside the restaurant until the police arrived. You fucked up, Walker told O'Keefe. Oh my god. Like, this little fucking geek is gonna square up to James O'Keefe, because James, he looks like a pretty sturdy dude, okay? And old bitch hand movements there, I don't really know, man. This is one of those instances where I'm gonna take the white guy over the black guy in a physical confrontation, okay? Because there's no bricks and no jumping involved. Yes, you fucked up, Walker told O'Keefe, suggesting he had simply been trying to impress a person on a date by lying. Go sell those bitches a dream, huh? I'm not even a scientist, he contested. Oh, okay, cool. I don't know. I don't even work here. What is the coof? I don't know, man. All they ever tell me down there is just safe and effective. I'm just the janitor, man. Walker then attempted to snatch the iPad out of O'Keefe's hands. Oh, yeah, that'll get you. It's like you don't think if they had the whole Chris Hansen walk planned out, you don't think that they had a backup plan there? Oh yes, following a brief struggle, he smashed it on the ground. Oh, that's a battery, brother. O'Keefe and his crew eventually left the restaurant. Did they get the pieces of the iPad? That's really irrelevant. It was just, that's a tax write-off. That's just a little important prop to display. Followed shortly by Walker, who ran over to police when they arrived. Please, the evil man was recording me. Oh my god, we were discussing contract negotiations and everything was going south, and then I had to record a 53-minute spurg-out video where everybody was just saying that you don't record your friends. Oh my god. Get it? In the footage, Walker told his date that Pfizer was considering directed evolution of the virus. Considering directed evolution. Wow, it's almost like they had this virus figured out and was wondering what they could do with it going forward. That's what that claims right there, but he's just a liar, man. He just cleans the windows. He doesn't know anything about this stuff. One of the things we, Pfizer, are exploring, he said, is like we don't just mutate it in the coof ourselves, so we could create preemptively, develop new vaccines. Right? Okay, so far so good. If we're gonna do that though, there's a risk of like, oh god, this guy's about as articulate as your average 8th grade girl. And then, like, the virus, like, got real bad, and then I, like, got it, and then, like, my throat was sore, and then, like, I had a stuffy head, and then, like, it changed, right? Fucking yuck. So we have to do that. We're going to have to do that, though. There's a risk of, like, as you could imagine, no one wants to be having a pharma company mutating fucking viruses. That's true. That's very true. But yeah, just a little bit more clarification on this guy, because just run it back for posterity's sake. Get the complete picture as we have it right now. Oh yeah, he is Pfizer's Director of Research and Development, Strategic Operations, and an mRNA Scientific Research Planner. Okay. Claimed that directed evolution is not the same as gain-of-function research. Oh, where have we heard these talking points before? Which, according to the outlet, is defined as a mutation that confers new or enhanced activity on a protein. meaning that the virus in question can become more powerful or less powerful, or it could just really change in function, okay? But it's not gain of function, though. That's different. Depending on the mutation or specific enhancement. Yeah, of course. And if you're trying to develop a vaccine, an antidote, and some sort of antivirus, if you will, fully understanding a virus, that's good stuff. That's essential to solving a problem. It's just that type of technology in the wrong hands, especially motivated hands, in order to make sure that there are certain products that need to continue into popular zeitgeist for the foreseeable future because it's a good fucking grift right now. Well, that's a different conversation now, isn't it? Walker told an undercover Project Veritas journalist, one of the things I'll talk on behalf of my company because I'm a big important person, as opposed to a couple minutes later when he's confronted, I don't know, man, I just work here, bro, are exploring this like, why don't we just mutate it ourselves and we could preemptively develop new vaccines, right? Yeah, this is also a conversation that would really get your partner wet. Like, what the fuck are you doing here, dude? It's like, yeah, I'm in charge of research and development, and you know what really, really gets me sloppy? Coughing and head colds. It's so fucking sexy. So we have to do that. If we're gonna do that, there's a risk, like you could imagine. No one wants to have a pharma company fucking mutating viruses and shiznit. He added, from what I've heard, as they say, Pfizer scientists are optimizing it, the COOF mutation process. That's added context. Don't know if that's necessarily what he's talking about, but it's Project Veritas. I'm going to give him a little bit of deference. But they're going slow because everyone is very cautious. Oh wait, now you're cautious? Okay, obviously they don't want to accelerate it too much. Of course, man, because all of a sudden if it just goes from being something that's highly transmutable to, you know, knocking off people like you prognosticated it would in early 2020, people would have some questions. But just saying. I think they are just trying to do it as an exploratory thing because you obviously don't want to advertise that you are figuring out future mutations. Yo, Walker pleaded, please don't tell anyone. Promise you won't tell anyone. And the way the experiment would work is that we put the virus in monkeys. Oh, man. That's a racism. And we successfully cause them to keep infecting each other, and we collect serial samples from them. Oh man, poor monkeys. At least it's a little bit more humane than those poor beagles that Dr. Fauci liked to experiment on. He continued. Of course he did. These fucking simps. You have to be very controlled to make sure that this virus that you mutate doesn't create something that just goes everywhere. Yeah, heaven forbid there'd be like a lab leak, and then after everything, you know, gets found out and there's a couple of theories that end up running wild, you wouldn't want that to occur now, would you? To leave it to a bat market, which I suspect is the way that the virus started. Oh man, those guys out here being full-on conspiracy theorists, right? It makes no sense that this virus popped out of nowhere. It's bullshit. What? Oh my god. But he's just lying, bro. He's just on a date. Don't knock his methods, which many have speculated is what happened at the Wuhan Institute of Virology in China. Now that I'm done talking about me, please tell me about your job. Walker also acknowledged, you're not supposed to do gain-of-function research with viruses. Regularly not. We can do the selected structure mutations to make them more potent. There's research ongoing about that. I don't know how that is going to work. There better not be any more outbreaks because Jesus Christ, we make so much fucking money. Anyways, Walker also confessed to Project Veritas journalists. Part of what they, Pfizer scientists, want to do is, to some extent, to try to figure it out. You know, how they are all these new strains and variants that just pop up. Hey man, I have the same question, but you're probably going to have a little bit more of a nefarious answer to this. So it's like trying to catch them before they pop up so we can develop a vaccine prophylactically. Okay, like for new variants. You say the word like a lot, but you don't really compare all that much. So that's why they do it in a controlled lab. So when they say this is a new epitope, okay, and so if it comes out later on the public, we already have a vaccine working. theoretically, and he's also saying he doesn't want to spread it out through a lab leak or anything like that. Like, it's a laudable effort, but bro, you let out a little bit too much sauce to begin with. That's why on dates, you let the other person do the talking. But this was really not that much of a date. This was kind of a setup of a high-ranking, very loose-lipped individual, which he was hoping there was some loose lips on the other side of the table, but sucks to suck, I guess. Project Veritas journalist responded, "Oh my god, that's perfect. Please let me suck your dick." No, she didn't say that. Isn't that the best business model, though? How did... okay, I kind of understand why you wouldn't be picking up on this type of stuff. He's bad with women to begin with. Just control nature, because nature even right? Life finds a way, bro. Right? To which Walker replied, "Yeah, if it works." The journalist inquired of Walker, "What do you mean if it works?" He answered, "Because some of the times there are mutations that just pop up that we're not prepared for, like with Delta and Omicron." So are you therefore, what the fuck's that new one? I think, are they running with the marketing Kraken? Because that shit's retarded. Like, everybody knows that it's already a fucking scam at this point by saying, "Oh my god, you're going to release the Kraken?" Bruh. Who knows? Either way, it's going to be a cash cow. Koof is going to be a cash cow for us for a while going forward, like, obviously. Yo, this guy's just trying to flex how much money that he has. It's, once again, just fucking beta male behavior. It's like, guy who leads with his wallet is like a woman who leads with her box, okay? It's just low-tier behavior. Well, I think the whole research of the virus and mutating it, like, would be the ultimate cash cow, the journalist responded, to which Walker acknowledged, "Yeah, it'd be perfect," adding that Big Pharma is a revolving door for all government officials. Uh-oh. And then that's when he heard knocking on the glass door, and it was, "FBI, open up." He continued, "So in the pharma industry, all the people who review our drugs, eventually, most of them will come work for pharma companies, of course, and in the military. It's kind of like all the intelligence officials over at the Biden White House. They all used to work for big tech, Facebook, Google, Twitter. You can just go check. Big open secret. And in the military, defense government officials eventually work for defense companies afterwards. Yeah, of course, depending on which party's in charge. And whenever there's a party flip, well, guess what? The old guard becomes the new guard, and then the new guard goes to the think tanks, okay? You see, Democrat officials go over to big tech, and Republican officials, they just go back to their big business grift and think tanks. It's so fucking patently obvious if you just do a cursory amount of investigation. Walker noted that the practice was pretty good for the industry, to be honest. It's bad for everyone else in America. Why did you think this made you look good? But I guess he was on a roll and nervous. He explained that when the regulators review our drugs and know that once they stop regulating, they call over Warren G. They are going to work for the company. They are not going to be as hard towards the company that's going to give them a job. Oh, there you go. Earlier this month, the CDC announced an investigation into whether bivalent Pfizer BioNTech vaccines increase the risk of ischemic strokes in people age 65 or older. And if you want to know more about that, on YouTube, that'll be, I'm not entirely sure, and then on Rumble, that video will be going up. It'll be one of the purple ones over on Rumble, or it'll be on the second channel when YouTube ever comes back. But this shit is funny as a motherfucker. There's multiple things that you can learn from it, and oh yeah, Big Pharma has a huge investment in making sure that this shit continues on into the future. Maybe it just dips every once in a while, you know, they can take a season off, but they got shit to sell, okay? And they got all of the sauce on a certain virus, so, hey man, I guess cat's out of the bag. See how quick they are to censor this stuff, okay? I didn't see Eliza Blue get mentioned, so we should be fine for the time being. So, with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.